Thank you so much. Thank you. That leads me to the next question about, because like you said, we're not just politically expressive, we are everything, right? And there has been conversation as to even the leaders that we have presently in Nigeria, one way or the other, they were once in diaspora, right? So there's this
Absolutely.
saying that, do you think there has to be a rigid of even the mindset of the diaspora as to, because they eventually will also still, maybe one way or the other, vie for elective positions. Do you think there has to be some mindset or some things that need to change? Because we keep saying, oh, our leaders are bad, but forgetting that they also were in the diaspora. They have traveled out. They have seen the things, everything, road, hospitals, everything is there. But when they got to that position, sorry, there's nothing to show for it. So what do you think may be lacking? I don't know. What's your perception
Yeah,
about
so
that?
so again, valid points, very valid. Like we don't pick leaders from the US to rule Nigeria. It's Nigerians that at the end of the day
Mm,
become leaders. So like you said, one of the things that I would suggest or that I like to talk about when I this kind of question comes up on how can we be that different person? Again, where I like to standpoint on it, let's begin to create systems and not people.
mm,
Let's as a people, we now know that if you bring somebody from the US, from the UK, with all the exposure they have, when they
mm,
come back home, they are going to work with the system that
mm,
seemingly doesn't work.
mm,
So
mm,
again, let's cancel or let's begin to look outside human beings or people in terms of, oh, we need somebody to be in a president before things can go right. No,
mm,
I think that's where I think we should all start thinking like, okay,
mm,
forget about individuals or forget about
mm,
persons, forget
mm,
about the records, the academic qualifications.
mm,
We've had a professor
mm,
as vice president. We've had someone
mm.
who had no shoes. We've had somebody who just had grade six.
Mm.
We've had somebody, so let's
Everything.
not, yeah, and still we're in the same place. So maybe we should stop looking in the direction of persons.
Mm,
Now let's look at processes.
mm,
How can we have a situation where even if we put a goat in a position, he has no, yeah, there's no way we'll turn to that will not churn out something positive.
mm,
Because again, if we really depend on persons, again, I like to say this for those who are in support of the current government. I really like the Minister of I think Interior, the guy
mm.
that is involved in the
Olubumi Ojo.
yeah. So again, I like what the man has done so much. Not really because it favors diaspora, but you
Mm,
can see he has put in a lot of things in place
mm.
to correct the time in getting visa, having those
Passport.
conversations. But the question or my fear is, if tomorrow we have somebody else as the Minister of Interior,
Mm,
would that process can they assure us that that process
mm,
will still remain?
mm, mm.
You
The
know,
valid
then we're
point.
then we're back to square one.
Mm,
We've taken
mm,
strides, and all of a sudden we're back to square one.
mm,
So
mm.
again, what are the things we are looking at in terms of our aviation? I think
Mm.
Kiamo is there. What are
Yeah.
the things? So again, I don't want us this time around. You have the guy that was there before during Buhari's time
Mm.
almost sold something crazy to Nigeria
True.
dealing with
The Ethiopia airline.
Ethiopian
Yeah.
Airline wasn't so the next person
Mm,
comes in and every other thing that person has done is like
mm,
an oaks. Like, what did you
mm,
do? Did you just,
mm,
So now somebody is there now, he's trying to do something right. Is it
mm,
hinged on Keyamo?
mm, mm,
So if
mm,
peradventure Keyamo is not there anymore and we have
mm,
somebody else there, are we going to
mm,
get that level of growth,
mm,
intensity, and
mm,
direction?
mm,
So again,
mm,
what I think Nigerians and in the direction we should be continue to speak to is
mm,
processes.
mm,
What is the process of doing this thing? Regardless of who is there, that's the process. Like in this part of the world, whether you like it or not, some things just happen. You sometimes
mm.
you question like, how did this happen?
Yeah.
Well, regardless of who you are, this is the
Mm,
process. Again,
mm.
like people always like to say, when you have a light ticket, you break the light, you get it in your mailbox.
Straight forward.
So how does that
Mm,
happen? It has
mm,
nothing to do with who is in charge of
mm,
security lights and all that.
mm,
Once this
mm,
is done, this is the next thing. So
mm,
whoever gets in there can be administrative, whatever, but
mm,
the process
mm,
doesn't change. So
mm,
again, for like the person you mentioned, I don't want us to focus on, oh, because this person is coming from abroad, he will do it well, or because
mm,
this person has been working with, no, 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 no. what is the process we as a people,
mm,
what process works for us.
mm,
I
mm,
wake up in the morning, this is the next step I should take. After is 8:05, I'm taking the next turn, I'm taking that next turn. Everybody knows it. And as we grow into it, it becomes better rather than waiting for, oh, this person comes, it's 8:05. I say, no,
mm,
no, no, my own time is 8:10, 8:10
mm,
before you guys
mm,
do it. No, no, no. That
mm,
way, we wouldn't get something lasting. So I
mm,
would want
mm,
to employ all of us as in the diaspora and also back home,
mm,
to give suggestions on
mm,
processes that
mm,
we think can work. We can
mm,
have a look at them, discuss
mm,
them, and
mm,
probably on one of your episodes, you could
mm,
have pertinent issues that we have in Nigeria. For instance, the mode of election or the mode of voting is very expensive. What are the
mm,
ideas that are from diaspora that we can share and just
mm,
have conversations online that
mm,
can improve or reduce the amount of money the country will
mm,
spend on electioneering,
mm,
leveraging technology?
mm,
How can we improve the healthcare access
mm,
using technology?
mm,
How can we educate our parents, the
mm,
ones who are in the rural areas, leveraging technology, cheap technology? For
mm.
instance, I can imagine in Canada, you would see almost everything in French and English.
True.
So if you want to get any information, it comes in French and English.
Mm,
I'm thinking, at what point can we get to, or should we begin to think, if I'm
mm,
sending information to the village, it comes in
mm,
Yoruba. If it's
mm,
in the Southwest, they get
mm,
it in
mm,
Yoruba, they get
mm,
it in English. How can I send the same information and they get it in Hausa, they get it, and if possible, because we have a lot of other languages, we can
mm,
get it in Efik, Ibibio,
mm,
uh, like those in Benue, TV language, all
mhm,
those, so
mhm,
again, those are the things we can, from this part of the world that we
mm,
are in, begin to
mm,
discuss
mm,
and give life to, and from there,
mm.
we'll see that it's not going to be about persons.
True.
If anything is going to be done, this is how it's done. We just
True.
know, and as we grow, our
Mm,
children back home, everybody grows, oh, these are how things are done, and everybody
mm,
just follows. But
mm,
again, if we keep building persons only and not the process and institution, I
mm,
think we'll just keep having the same conversation on how it
mm,
went bad, how we can go good if we don't
mm,
begin to look at the processes.
mm,
For a break, let's stop looking at persons. Let's begin
mm,
to look at processes. How
mm,
can we improve our processes to get
mm,
things done?
mm,
And if we can look in that direction,
mm,
work on it, invest in it, I
mm.
think would improve.
Awesome, awesome submission. Thank you so much, Mr. Shola. I appreciate that. I see what you're saying. The system, the processes has to be in place for
Yeah,
us to be better as a
yeah,
nation. Thank you so much.
absolutely.
I probably would want to take you into politics a little while.
Okay.
I don't know if you have a crystal ball. You've been in this role for a long time. So what's your projection about the 2027 general election, the presidential one? Do you think the opposition, the way it is set up right now, do they have a chance? Looking into your
Um,
crystal ball.
So again, Nigeria has taught a lot of us not to look at crystal balls
Mm,
because at the end of the day, the boots on the ground determine how things go. So
mm,
again, based on opposition, I haven't seen so much from the opposition. And again, from my own kind of person and how I look at things,
mm,
I'm not the type that wants to run opposition off. Even when I see the administration doing something good, I'll
mm,
say it's not good because it's
mm,
not coming from my team. No, no, no.
mm,
That's
mm,
not where I'm coming from. And
mm.
again, it's okay. Some people can be partisan, which is fine.
Which is
However, from what I'm seeing from opposition, I'm not seeing them doing enough. For instance, case in point, I think currently we have about 32 governors in APC, if I'm not
true.
wrong. Um, and we also cannot say, okay, because we want a good process or a good election process, we should say we
Mm,
are not Nigerians. We
mm,
know what's happening in Nigeria. We've
mm,
we've lived in Nigeria.
mm,
We've participated in elections before. We know how things go on in Nigeria. People can tell you, oh, there's no vote buying, there's no all that crap. We see a level of influence because of what's happening back home. People collect money for food for that period. We will say, well, for 4 years, I don't get anything. If I get something for a day or two, I'm going to make do it, whatever it is.
yes.
And that's
Mm,
why I started my conversation from we need to make the process fair enough for people to trust it.
mm,
Because if we don't trust it, then they will find other ways to get something out of the system.
mm,
So back to the fact that the opposition is not doing enough. again, like I was saying, there are 32 governors that have moved to the APC,
Governors,
and the
APC.
reason, yeah, governors, the reason a lot of them have given to the public why they are moving is because they want to get a lot more from the federal. So the
Mm,
question comes to me is, if I'm not in APC, are there things I'm supposed to get from the federal that right now I'm not getting?
mm,
If that is my only reason for moving to APC. Some people say because there's problem in PDP, so they don't have a chance of contesting. Yeah, that's quite valid. You can move. But again, what I hear a lot is, oh, want to align
center.
with the center. So the question is, currently, are you not getting what you should get from the center?
Mm,
That aligning makes you again the process,
mm,
the system, the process.
mm, mm,
If by virtue of being a state, I'm allotted to 25% or whatever it is,
mm.
whether I'm from DDD,
It doesn't
AAA,
matter.
AC,
Mm,
I should get what I should get.
sure.
Then my people should question me based
Mm,
on what I've received.
mm,
But if I can tell the people in my state that, oh, the reason why I'm not doing my job is because I'm not getting the blessings from the federal government, then it
mm,
doesn't make any sense.
mm,
So for
mm,
me, those are the questions we should ask and see, come make it make sense. So are you telling us that all this while you are not doing anything because we are not aligned?
mm,
That means your reason for moving is malicious or is selfish.
mm,
So again, let's question the issues. Let's begin to question the issue. So again, why should you have everybody moving because they want to align?
mm.
The federal government is obliged to do their role by giving each state what they are allotted to.
Sure.
I don't have to be in APC to get what my state doesn't have to be an APC state to get. So again, and those are the things we are saying. You are having everybody move to APC. Could it be because you just want to make sure that you remain in power,
Mm,
or because you want to make the state a better place? So
mm,
those are the questions people would ask, or I expect us to be asking.
mm,
Let's ask these questions, and
mm,
um, again, the opposition, I'm not sure they are asking in this direction. Again, the opposition that I think or that we see, a lot of them are even divided. Labour Party is divided. They are in court every day.
mm,
Again, the process, so I try to always go back to the process. If we,
mm,
even within your political party, the process is not clear to anybody, somebody comes in today, he turns it left, is another person comes in tomorrow, he turns it right, we'll not move forward.
mm,
So again,
mm,
at every sphere that we find ourselves, if we can really focus on the process of
mm,
um, how things should be done,
mm.
irrespective. So again, if processes were done properly, probably somebody coming in from another party that has not contributed so much to a new party cannot be
Mm.
given presidential ticket and all that.
Ticket.
Probably that person will not go there,
Mm, mm,
you know. But because if because I've got clout or I've got a level of followership, if I
mm,
leave my party now and go to another party tomorrow, they'll give me
mm,
presidential candidate. The question
mm,
now goes to, what's the process that works in that system? Are there
mm,
some people who have been there before that are probably the rightful people
mm,
to be in position
mm, mm,
to
mm.
be flag carrying? Again, process. When you leave processes open-ended, we have all
Yes.
these chaos we're having. So
Mm,
again, the opposition, they're not speaking to that, probably
mm,
because they too, they've enjoyed the lack of process,
mm,
you know,
mm,
and they are seeing somebody who is playing the game better than them in not having
mm,
processes.
mm,
So again, back to the question which says, is the opposition, I don't think the opposition is doing enough.
mm,
And again, constructive opposition. I'm not pro just
mm,
shaming anything,
mm,
because if you have
mm,
constructive opposition, it helps the
mm,
people.
mm,
The people
mm.
should be the end goal.
And
Constructive
go.
opposition
Mm,
helps the people.
mm,
So opposition for me, I haven't seen a lot of that.
mm, mm,
Um, again, like I said, we really can't take Nigerians out of the box and speak for Nigerians.
mm,
We have seen now elections. For example, I kind of followed. Again, so social media is different. So in social media, with Nigeria, things are difficult, but from people on ground, when they're about to vote for certain parties,
mm,
I begin to wonder, what are the questions or what are the things that are being told these people that
mm,
all of a sudden they vote for them again. And this is
mm.
not me saying I'm in support of one party or another. I want to imagine the FCT is a much
Election.
more the FCT election, and I expect people
Mm.
in the FCT are a lot much more exposed. Maybe
Yeah.
not, you
Yeah.
know, but when we see the outcome of the election in the
Mm,
FCT, I think APC
mm.
won most of the seats again.
Sure. Sure.
So again, we have not done polls, and I'll be looking out for polls that people put out there. But I think at the end of the day, with the way Nigerians, analyze things
mm,
overall, I still think the sitting government has got the going into the election. I still think they have the upper hand.
mm, mm,
Because one, the opposition hasn't done anything to say, okay, this is an alternative that we can look up to.
mm,
Then I look at the body language of the populace in their
mm,
decision making.
mm,
It's like we still choose the same
mm,
persons over,
mm,
or again, again, there are a lot of factors in Nigeria.
mm,
The
mm.
factor of the north versus the south. So
South.
most
Mm,
likely the southerner
mm,
gets in again. It's an unspoken rule that we all have come to terms with.
mm,
8 years
mm,
in the north, 8 years in the south. So the
mm,
question is, if there's going to be destruction in the south, the
mm,
person coming from the south, would that person
mm,
want to do just for?
mm,
How we know that people say that 4 years is not enough. The first year they do election, they pay back all those who have supported them. They try to work within 1, 2 years. The third year, they're already thinking like we're in 2026, and all our conversation is a lot more on election for 2027.
mm,
So you can see that really there's almost no time to really do work. There's a lot of
mm,
electioneering going on.
mm,
So
mm,
again, those are the factors I'm looking at. And as
mm,
Nigeria goes, we've got the elite, we've got the middle class, we've got,
mm,
well, some people say there's no middle class anymore, and we've
mm,
got those who are actually
mm,
below the middle class.
mm,
So the way they all vote
mm,
changes with
mm.
a lot of the political structure,
They
the
play more
religion
chalk.
structure we have.
Mm,
So Nigeria is interesting, and
mm,
that's why I always try to say, can we move towards the process?
mm,
Because
mm,
if the process is fine, even if he's an Igbo man, if he's an Hausa man, we know
mm,
what we're going to get out of this system. We know what we're going to get out of this system. So that way, it reduces the what would I? It reduces the appetite for looking for, is it from the north? Is
mhm,
it is it from the south? Is it Muslim?
mhm,
Is it Christian?
mhm,
Once we know the
mhm,
process is functional, you really
mhm,
wouldn't bother about,
mhm,
again, case in point, we're all getting to planes. Do we care at the end of the ones who are in the plane if the person is from China, from the
mm,
US? The
mm,
idea is we have an idea that there's a way a plane works.
mm,
And if it works that way,
mm,
to take us from our point of journey to our destination.
mm, mm,
So
mm.
if you look at it, we don't enter into a plane and you're looking at, is that person from
You don't even
my
know the pilot
country?
at
You don't
all.
even, you just get in the plane
Mm,
and, so again, if we can get to the point where we can create
mm,
those processes
mm,
where regardless of where they come
mm,
from, and again, it's going to take some time because
mm,
these bad habits that we're mentioning did not just
mm.
start yesterday.
Today.
So,
Mm,
but,
mm,
and that's, I like this kind of conversation from a
mm,
balanced point of view,
mm.
how we can improve, speak about it, pick up particular issues that we have seen and see how we can analyze it and see, okay, can we try this? Would this work? Not from a point of my party or not my party, or but for a process, from a point of view of how can Nigeria be a better place. So
Awesome.
I think with that, would be in a better place, and the future can be bright.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. It's so surprising how the time runs so fast. But I
Yeah,
have one
yeah, yeah,
question.
yeah.
I have a lot of
Oh,
questions, but
okay.
I have one question just to end this session with you. It's so good how you made mention of the north south dichotomy. Some people saying, oh, you should come to the north, south now. Is it turn of the north or south?
Mm-hmm.
But there's been so much conversation about a specific candidate. I probably mentioned NPTLB, and I know his movement from the Labour Party into the ADC has kind of created so much uproar among younger Nigerians, I'll probably say. So do you think it does have a chance to pick up the ADC ticket? Because you would notice that there are big eggs in the ADC itself. Rotimi Amishi, Atiku Abubakar, who has been a perennial presidential candidate. So there has been that conversation, or probably will be a vice president to him. So what do you think? What do you think?
Again, this is why I always say Nigerians, we are just emotional. We
Mm,
are not being factual, and a lot of these people would not be involved in ADC primaries or whichever method they will choose their candidates. So we can pontificate as much as we want online. It has almost no effect on the processes ADC has. Do you get what I mean now? We can speak from now, oh, it will be a good, if it gets into ADC and there's a process they have in ADC that he's aware of, that we don't even know. We don't know. He's the one in ADC or whoever is online that is on ADC in ADC as a party member. That the ones who will decide. Again, in the laws that were just passed, I think there are two methods of selecting candidates now: consensus and I think direct primaries. There isn't indirect in the law.
Yes.
So those are the things that I'm talking about that we should discuss. If I'm supporting Obi, for instance, and I want him in ADC, what's the process he's going to work with when he gets there? He's not going to go and invent a new process in ADC. The question is, what's the process in ADC? So no matter how much we discuss it now, from now till tomorrow, the question is, what is the process in ADC to select a candidate? So the question is, I would think, or everybody who went in there, they have an idea of the process a candidate will come in, will be put out, and they think they have a fair chance of becoming the candidate that will be in the presidential election. So again, I'm not fast to say, oh, because Obi has gone to ADC, does that mean he will get it? No. Doesn't mean he will get the ticket. Like you mentioned, there are people who also who are aspiring to become president. Again, back to my position. What is the process in ADC? Have they told us how candidates will be elected? How would emerge? If that's not known to us, then we can only pontificate as much as we want online. That won't have any impact. Again, let's stop the emotions. Let's discuss the issue. So if I'm going to say anything, I would say, what is the process for selecting a candidate in ADC? That would be my best answer, because I don't know. And if Obi gets in there, is the process favorable for him? So again, if the process is not favorable for me, I will not be there. Before getting in, I will not go there. You know, so those are the things we as a people must begin to push out. What is the process? What is the process? How is this done? Does it align with me? And again, back to the way we know that Nigerian politics is not ideological. Everybody's everywhere and all that. Those are some of the things. Probably we might not get to a point of being ideological, which is fine, but let us know the process. That's like the bedrock. What is the process of emerging? What's the process of joining? What are the criteria? What are the things that need to be done to become the secretary? What's the level of contribution? For instance, you can't be a professor without having a certain number of theses or whatever it is that you have to have published. So you can't just call yourself a professor, you know. There's a process, you know. There are stages to this thing. So if we just begin to this guy is popular in my village, he will become president. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. So let's stop speaking again. For me, it's not about Obi. It's not about anybody. It's about what is the process that seems to be fair to everyone. Not perfect. There's almost nothing perfect. But when you begin to explain, or you have conversations based on facts and processes that have been put in place, whoever wants to disagree can disagree, but you know, there's something on ground that you can use to defend your position. When it's shown where there's nothing to defend your position, you just explain like they said, you explain tire. You know, you explain tire. Evidence no day. So again, for us to really say somebody will do well in a party, I'm not bothered. Honestly, for me, I'm focused on what is the process ADC. Because again, if you have Obi as a good candidate and the process they used in bringing him is questionable, what difference have you made from INEC that we're trying to correct? So let's all not come out here and be shouting, oh, INEC is bad, and we were doing the bad things to put somebody out there. So again, let's all remove the emotions. Whoever gets in there, based on the processes that we've agreed upon, should get in there. That'll be my submission.
Awesome submission. Nigerians, you made it. Stop focusing on the emotions. Stop focusing on the individuals. focus more on the system, the process, because it is only when we do that that we have a better nations that we can all be proud of. Thank you so much, Mr. Shola Akinsowon,
Thank you so
for being
much.
a part of today's episode. We really appreciate you.
Thank you. Yep.
Please, if you've loved today's program, please feel free to like, share, and make your comments in the comment section. Till we meet again next time, thank you so much and have a great day. God bless. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.